Hi, Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your June 2021 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Okay, so the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle is our heart, our emotional self. And the right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So we're going to see how the moon on the 24th of June will be affecting us in these categories, in these ways. Now, this reading goes from full moon to full moon, so from the 24th of June to the 23rd of July. Now, the full moon is in Capricorn, and the next full moon will be in Aquarius. Now, what's very interesting about this full moon is that it will affect Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn the most. So, Aries, you're going to feel this moon quite intensely, and you're going to feel this moon before it even starts. So do be mindful of that. All right, at the roots, we have the 9 of Wands and the 8 of Cups. Interesting. And this makes total sense with everything that we'll be talking about that this moon has to offer. Now, then we have the star, which is Aquarius energy, linking us to the next full moon in July, but also a time frame of January 20th to February 18th is the traditional time frame of of the star of Aquarius energy. Then we have the 10 of Wands and the moon. So the moon is going to have a tremendous effect on us, and it's going to actually make us feel like we're carrying a greater burden than when we started this time. So that can be something that is uncomfortable and that we don't want to have to face, but it's also going to be something that we do really have to be mindful of. At our heart, we have the 2 of Wands and we have the 3 of Cups. And then in the public arena, we have the 6 of Pentacles and we have the 7 of Cups. So our dreams come into play, and a sense of things being out of balance, which again makes perfect sense because this full moon in Capricorn, as the full moon always tells us to do, to surrender to the divine and to embrace the power that surrendering brings us. And with Capricorn, it says the end of a tough cycle is approaching. Now, with this full moon in Capricorn, we have the sun in Cancer and we have the moon in Capricorn, which creates immense conflict. Cancer is all about our private lives, our homes, nurturing, taking care of things. And Capricorn is all about the public life, career, and responsibility. So we have these two conflicting, home life and work life really conflicting, or just even wanting to nurture ourselves and wanting to go out and accumulate more or achieve more during this time. And finding that balance is going to be something that's hard and can also be seen as almost detrimental during this time. So this brings the battle between conditional and unconditional love. So during this time, we're going to sit there and think, well, how do I love? How do I express myself? How do I know what I want or where I'm headed or what I desire? We want to nurture during this time. And we want to nurture that which is most sacred to us. But while we're wanting to nurture what's most sacred to us, we're still wanting to go after our goals. We're still wanting to achieve. We're still wanting to, be in the arena of the battle. And sacredness and a battle, they don't go hand in hand at all. So it can be very upsetting during this time. And we can see it where we have the rest of the world coming in and we have ourselves walking away from something that we love. So this battle is really felt at the root of who we are during this time. Cancer calls us to value our roots and to value our home, while Capricorn calls us to value duty and responsibility, the public arena, the professional arena, and calls us to what needs to be done. Cancer is the beginnings and the roots. So it is kind of like the beginning and the ending. And yet Capricorn is the goal. It is the goal that we have in mind, what we need to achieve, and what we need to go after. During this time, it's going to be bringing us something that has been building for a long time, but never has had the power to come forward. And this moon, and we're going to see this definitely within our inner selves, is demanding that we let it out. It is demanding to be seen. And so emotionally, this is a time of profound revelations, but this is a time of profound emotions. So that is something to be mindful of. At the end of a tough cycle, yes, we're making really powerful choices. We're deciding things in a very real, open, and honest way. But it is also going to be a way that calls upon us and makes us uncomfortable. That makes us feel like we're not heading in the right direction, or makes us feel as if we're always going to be in conflict with ourselves. But on the 10th of July, we have the new moon in Cancer, which is beautiful because, the 10th of July is in Cancer, and then we have the new moon in Cancer. So the energy of beginnings and roots, the energy of the home and our private lives and what we are nourishing within us and what is sacred to our inner selves really gets to be expressed during this time. And it brings us to this place of a new start. It brings us to beginnings. It's like we're walking through this portal of conflict that we have been in before. It's the end of a tough cycle because Capricorn makes us see things in a way that maybe we didn't want to see them before. Maybe that we felt was overwhelming, or, we just put our head in the sand like an ostrich and thought, it'll just go away. It's not going away. And with the power and the beauty of Cancer and Capricorn uniting, it really does make us see our world honestly. And that's something that we can become very used to not doing. Not seeing the world as honestly as this time is making us. Just thank goodness right now we don't have the High Priestess showing up. That would be super intense. And the new moon says here, you and your loved ones are safe. because the love is coming forward. It's like that which I am nurturing needs to be secure. And during this time, making sure that our loved ones are safe, making sure that we are connecting heart to heart is going to be so powerful. It's actually going to be something where the power that comes from connecting emotionally to somebody is going to be actually out of this world. So this is a time where if we want to get together with friends, if we, want to have a family gathering, this is the time to do it around the new moon where the emotions are high, but the sense of I'm seeing who you are. I'm seeing the God's head within you, and you are seeing the God's head within me. That becomes beautiful, and that becomes powerful. Now, it can also be a time where the emotions are running so high that we feel a little bit in conflict with things, or we can feel a little bit overwhelmed. So do be mindful of that if that's how the new moon is manifesting within your life. Now, the full moon in Aquarius says, show the world the real you. And that is powerful. And that's part of what this full moon is doing for us as the end of a tough cycle approaches, as we are having that conflict of our inner self and our responsible self come forward. And as we're building within us, the thing which has been building within us, is coming forward and is demanding attention during this moon, during the full moon on the 24th of June. This leads us to showing the world the real us. Show the world the real you. It's no longer going to hide. It's no longer thinking, oh, I'm not important, or, I don't have a say in anything, or, what could I possibly bring to the table? It's like, no, show the world the real you, because we've been through the conflict. We've seen the heartbreak. We've seen the disappointment. We've seen everything in between. Where do you stand now? And what do you stand for? Now let's look at the chakra energy that comes up during this rather intense full moon. Aries. How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Communication. We're going to find it hard. This is the throat chakra. We're going to find it hard to communicate in the way that we want to have ourselves really feel understood, heard, seen, and to have that expression be a part of us. This is going to be a very important thing for us to embrace our throat chakra, to meditate, focusing on our throat chakra, to even wear stones, aquamarine or whatever that signify the throat chakra, to be able to embolden our words and the way that we're communicating with ourselves and with the world around us. Because communication is going to be just so important during this time. Even turquoise during this time is a good stone to wear. There is a sense of, I need to express, I need to be seen, I need to be heard, I need to embrace. And so here we're also going to be picking up on so much more than just what one person is saying. So when we're having a conversation, we're also picking up on their, aura energy, how they are emotionally feeling, everything that they've been going through. And we're going to put it on us. And Aries, we're going to think, okay, this is something that I have to fix. I have to go out there, I have to make this right. And it's not. This is going to be a time where the question is, can you feel, can you hear fully and honestly another person without having to act on it, but just with simply being present for them and being aware of them? That's going to be a challenge during this time. And you'll actually hear people say, I don't want you to fix my problem. I don't want you to fix it. I just want you to listen. And that's going to be a really big thing. Now, what is the energy that Aries needs to be mindful of during this time? What is the energy that Aries needs to be mindful of during the June 2021 full moon? What is the energy that Aries needs to be mindful of during the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. The Queen of Swords. Now, it can be that in our infinite wisdom of this time that we just simply believe that the truth will be the best way to go about things. And speaking our truth and honoring who we are and what is intrinsically important to us is absolutely important. But the truth can also be a weapon. It could also be really super mean. So we have to be very mindful of that. Are we saying things in an open, honest way, in conveying what is heartfelt? Or are we saying things in a way to just kind of cut at a person? Or are people saying things in a way just to cut at us, just to be a bit nasty and overwhelming Is everything during this time being boiled down to facts? Are we leaning into the Capricorn part of the full moon more than we're leaning into the Cancer reflection of the sun's light that this moon brings? How do we meld these together? The Queen of Swords is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is a sense of looking at things and having to be open, having to be honest, having to see the time and the effort, but also knowing that we can come up against people who use facts as a weapon, who have their goals. And if we don't fit into that logical box, we're not going to be seen as worthy or worth it. And this is a time not to let their way of seeing the facts affect us. You know, call into our power or take away from our power. So this is going to be a time where somebody might say something and it's honest. You know, they've said how they honestly see the situation that we're in, what we have accomplished, what we haven't accomplished, and there'll be validity to it. It'll also be nasty. So we really do have to be mindful of that. Now, at our root, the Nine of Wands, we're hearing everybody and everything. Communication, we're on top of it, but we have to be able to hear and not take it all on. Not see it as something we have to fix, not see it as a battle to be fought, but see it as information to be gathered. How do I hear it? How does that energy affect me? And how do I move forward? The Nine of Wands is also, I'm tired. I'm tired of battle after battle after battle. I'm tired of everybody else's opinion and nobody being in the ring with me, or just being in the ring themselves. This is a time where we start to see I'm stronger than I ever imagined I am, because I'm standing strong and firm in what I desire, want, need, hope for. And I haven't been crushed down. And even when I have been crushed down, because we all have, I rise. I rise in a truer, more honest way. And it brings us to the Eight of Cups. It can be that we see ourselves walking away from societal norms. We can see ourselves walking away from things we always thought we would be or always thought we would accomplish. And it's like, no. The Eight of Cups is an ending, and it will always be an ending. It can be a bittersweet ending, it can be an overwhelming ending, but it is an ending nonetheless. And when we embrace that something has finished its course, whether it be a relationship, a job, or even a way of thinking, we start to free ourselves because we're starting to see that there's power in moving forward, and there's power within us. We might be sad, especially if it's a relationship and we think, oh my gosh, but sometimes, or work, and we're like, oh my goodness, now what do I do? But sometimes it's the best possible thing. Sometimes things happen. I remember I was working at this one job and I got a stalker, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was terrifying. But it was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because I wound up going to a different job, and then it wound up leading me to this, which is absolutely amazing. So there are things that happen for a reason that if we knew it at that moment, it would make the journey less overwhelming, less upsetting, but it would take away the mystery of the discovery. And so here we have to trust in walking away and being able to embrace what we want. Now it leads us to our inner self. We have the Aquarius energy right here. We have the star. This is a time where we're looking at our wishes, our desires, our hopes, and our dreams. The stars are our wish, but not the cross your fingers, wish upon a star type of wish. It's when divinity sees deep down into our souls and into ourselves and says, what is it that you're wishing for? What is it that you long for? And how can I manifest that for you? We might not know that deep down in our soul, we're longing for a path of our own. We're longing for a power of our own voice. We're longing for a companionship that is maybe a little bit unorthodox, but sees both partners. We might not know what we're longing for, but divinity does. And that starts to embolden us, that starts to empower us, and that starts to lead us forward in a very real way. What we're doing here is we're looking at the ideals. And we have to be very mindful not to get caught up in the ideals of it all, not to get caught up in the wishes and in the fantasy and in the beautiful world that people are able to project in reality TV, on Instagram, or any place like that. What we have to do is realize where we stand now and what we stand for. And that becomes astoundingly powerful. And it also leads us to a sense of balance, on the earthly plane and in our spiritual self. And it brings us to the 10 of Wands. And the 10 of Wands is holding too much. This is going to be a time with the energy that this moon and the sun are bringing us during this full moon, where we see where we have been bent over, where we have been piled on with responsibilities and burdens, so that the only thing we see is the dirt on our feet. The only thing we see is the mud before us. And we see nothing else. Because life becomes only the responsibilities, only the hardships, only the pains, only the disappointments. And we're carrying everything for everyone. And the only person we're forgetting is ourselves. We have to be mindful of that during this time. How much am I sacrificing for everybody else? Where am I losing myself? How am I denying myself? This is a time where we say to people, I love you, but you have to carry your burden. You have to carry your life purpose and your goals and your hardships and your pains and your disappointments. I will be here for you, but I can't carry them for you. It leads us then to the moon. This moon brings up a lot of fears because it reminds us that we cannot be perfect. That's all we ever want to be. I just want to do a really good job so everybody is impressed and I can move on, right? But with this moon, I cannot be perfect. I have to face fears that I didn't want to face. I have to face hardships and juggling acts that I may never win at. Moons bring fear. A fear of the dark that is primordial. A fear of not being able to see our way forward. But it also brings the reflection of the sun's light. A cooler, quieter understanding of the day that was and of what might be. If we sit in reflection during the moon, we can truly understand ourselves a bit better and see those fears more openly and honestly, and it becomes empowering. What we look for here, then in our heart, is how do I move forward within this world? How do I know what I love and what I want and where it is that I want to be? There is a sense at times where we will feel like we do not know. Because again, one part of the energy of this time, whether it be Cancer or Capricorn, will take over. And the other part will become diminished. And they will do this dance multiple times. Or we might find ourselves confused. How do I move forward to what I want? Where is it that I desire being? What is it that I desire, acquiring within my life? Moving forward towards? What are my goals? Where do I want to be? And this, with the two of Wands, shows us the world more openly and honestly, because it's not about the high notes that make up the world. It's about all the notes in between. The low ones and the medium ones and the ones that we can barely hear. We start to see where we want to stand, or we start to see that the world is opened in a way that we hadn't imagined, in a way that brings a partnership between us and spirit that leads us forward. But then we have the Three of Cups, and the Three of Cups for me is always this sense of the people who are supposed to celebrate us, the people who are supposed to be in our corner, but just never could. They never could fulfill those goals or, be that support team that we needed. And they leave scars. Now, this for us could be our caregivers when we were very little. This for us could be teachers or, siblings or friends or lovers as we got older. And the scars, they don't lessen. We find our coping mechanisms usually when we're very young, and those coping mechanisms aren't as sneaky, as well placed as we think they are. And so here, when we're looking at this, the creeping thought of, well, will I be a failure? Will I just let everything down? Will I be able to, move the way that I want to, move forward the way that I need to? Will I just bring these mistakes forward? That is actually going to color us in the public arena because we have the Six of Pentacles. We have the sense of things being out of balance. And we have the sense of, I'll give to this, but not to that. And it's that miser mentality from the Three of Cups that comes in. And in that miser mentality, what Spirit is saying here, it's that miser mentality of emotions. It's kind of like that person who can pay every bill, who has everything under control financially, but just can't be present. You don't know if they love you. You don't even know if they really like you. And that leads to a lot of stress. You might say, well, that's great. I can deal with that, but it starts to erode our confidence. It starts to erode who we are, just to be shown ambivalence all the time. And so here with the Six of Pentacles, what we need to do with this moon, most definitely, is see what's coming up that is out of balance. Because this moon calls forward what's out of balance with a vengeance. And see, where do we stand? Where do I stand on this subject? Like, is it something that I mind? Is it something that I don't mind? Is it something that has wounded me, that hurts me, that has made me overwhelmed? Is it something that has brought me joy? How do I balance this within my life? How am I just and bring discernment? Because for me, the Six of Pentacles is the minor arcana justice card. And we need to bring that discernment, that justice to ourselves forward. And it brings us then to the Seven of Cups. It brings us to looking at our dreams, to being able to see those dreams again. For some of us, it has been such a long, hard road that we can't even see the dreams. We get overwhelmed. We feel discouraged. We think, I can't do this. But the fact of the matter is, we can. And in a way that is more than we had ever anticipated, more than we have known. The Seven of Cups is also the dreams that have been hidden. What did we give up on? What is coming to us now in a way that we hadn't anticipated manifesting? How do we move forward? And where are we moving forward to? What is it that we desire? These hopes and these dreams and these wishes come forward because this is a time where the heart and the go-getter mentality start to come together. And we start to say, where is it that I want to be within my life? Not where does everybody else want me to be? That's one of the things we're raging against during this time. And for some of us, you will actually feel that rage, that sense of, I'm tired of being responsible, or I'm tired of things going exactly this way. I want things to be different. I need things to change, or I'm tired of taking on the responsibilities. And so you might actually find that there's rage inside of you because of that need for change. So do be mindful of that. Now we're going to see what the moon has to say for herself. How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels, and spirit guides, show me clearly. All right. So at our root, we have the Queen of the Moon, sovereignty, and a fiery climax approaches. So that's the full moon in Aries, where it said that there would be frustration, where some of us would feel a bit of rage. That's showing right here from the moon. So that's intense, and that's rather beautiful. And then we have acceptance, and meditation and contemplation is important. Balance. Have faith in your dreams. Realization, and don't let pride get in the way. So what's beautiful here is that the sovereignty comes as a fiery climax approaches. So the sovereignty of ourselves, being the Queen of the Moon, being the ruler of who we are, comes as we feel like, I can't take this anymore, as we feel ourselves reaching a crescendo. So we have to be very mindful of this. We have to be very mindful also, Aries, not to let the fiery climax turn into a rage, turn into a super bad temper, or a negative way of dealing with a situation. Walking away is going to be one of the best moves that we can do. Stepping back and saying, you know what, I can't right now, and I'm not even going to try. So I'm going to walk away, and I'm going to walk towards my destiny and my dreams and my queenship, my sovereignty. It leads us to acceptance. through meditation and contemplation. This is not going to be a time with this moon and our dreams and everything that we're carrying where if we add more to our to-do list, okay, or more on our backs, that it works out better. It's a time where if we step back, if we meditate, if we bring in moments just to connect with our hearts, our souls, and ourselves, we can find acceptance for who we are, for who we were, for where we're headed, for what we desire. And it brings us then to this place of balance. The place of balance as we're looking at our future and we're looking at what we desire within this world. And we have the moon within our hands. It's like this balance grounds us to the earth, but also to the cycles of the moon and the cycles of our lives, whether it be month to month or within a whole lifetime of existence. This is a time also where we have faith in our dreams. We do not let the corrosive and corruptive energy of others take away our power, our purpose, our insight, and our delight. In the public arena, when we're learning how to balance and we're seeing our dreams come forward, we need to realize that we are the key and not to let pride get in the way, not to let ego take over. The I'll show you, the, I can best anyone type of energy is going to start to come out because there's so much intensity here. What we need to do is step back and say, what do I want? What do I need? Where am I headed? Having pride within ourselves is important, but having that be all-consuming, that's negative. And we have to be very mindful of the negative energy coming forward and wanting to sweep us away. So let's see what our subconscious has to say. Our subconscious chakra message is angels and masters. Now, this is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. This is a sense of our angels protecting us, divinity protecting us. There is power, there is beauty, there is brilliance here. Take it in and hold on to it. We then move to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that is the Freyalth. This is temperance. So this is Sagittarius energy, time frame November 22nd to December 21st. This can be trying to find the balance and the harmony within everything, that we forget to balance and harmonize ourselves. This can also be a sense of being very intrigued how other people acquired their wisdom, how other people acquired their path or their enlightenment, and forgetting that it's a very personal journey and not just taking somebody else's word for everything. And moving forward in experiences, in an opening of the heart and a embrace of the self. We have to be very mindful of not becoming so taken in by somebody else. They're so alluring is what Spirit keeps showing me, that we just want to move forward just like them. Even though that's hard. Like sometimes when we see people and we think, wow, that person has it all together, it makes it really hard not to say, oh no, they don't. We have to be able to look at what we want and what we desire and make those choices for ourselves. Now, at our root, our subconscious energy is the devil. This is Capricorn energy. So this is going to be and the time frame is December 22nd to January 19th. But because this full moon is in Capricorn, subconsciously, we're going to move more towards the Capricorn side of things, more towards the, I have this to accomplish. These are my goals. This is what I desire. This is my duty. This is my responsibility. And only seeing life as that. We're going to miss all the joy if we do so. We're going to miss all the beauty that is opening to us. Also, subconsciously, this moon is going to hit us harder than we realize. So we might think, oh, I'm doing fine. And then all of a sudden, it's like, being smacked in the face. All of a sudden, it hits us. And the moon has been so intense and so overwhelming that we just need to be very mindful of that. Our subconscious inner self is the Page of Pentacles. We're becoming a student of our prosperity, of our bounty, of the seeds that we want to plant, of the joys that we have, of the goals that we have, of where it is that we want to be and how it is that we want to move forward. So be very, very mindful of your intentions during this time, because they're going to start to plant beautiful opportunities, whether they manifest themselves beautifully in our lives or not, that's going to be on us. But it can really plant amazing things. But we have to be very mindful of our mindset, because it can plant amazing things that are angry and hurtful and overwhelming. So do be mindful of that. Our subconscious emotional message is the Seven of Cups. As we're looking out at the world, as we are facing the negative energies of others who didn't believe in us, we start to look at our dreams, and we see that our dreams come forward in the public arena. But subconsciously, we're looking at our dreams, and it's like, can I do this? Do I have that faith in myself? Can I move myself forward this way? The questions are big. The answers are going to be surprising. Our subconscious public arena self is the Six of Swords. We need to take what we know, take what we've learned, and move forward. Will it be hard? Will there be rocky waters? Will it be emotional? Yes. But we need to move towards our logical goals. The subconscious moon message is the new moon in Capricorn. Your hard work is paying off. Again, Capricorn comes up, this time in the new moon. And so Capricorn has a very strong pull towards us. Again, be mindful of setting everything up as based on goals, responsibilities, what needs to be done. Everything boils down to duty during this time, boils down to responsibility. And we forget our roots, we forget the beginning. And that would be a shame if we forgot the beauty of it. To go deeper into our moon message is beauty. Now, it sounds funny, but with this card, it took me so long of using this deck to be able to see the outline of a woman's face, her lips, her nose, her eyes, her eyebrow. Beauty comes in the most unlikely places. And sometimes we can see something over and over again and miss the beauty of it, until one day it hits us like a ton of bricks. That is going to be what this time is like. We see something over and over again. But surprisingly, the beauty comes. It's in those rare moments that we start to see it. And then when the beauty comes, we can never unsee it, which is quite remarkable. All right, Aries. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the beauty, the conflict, and the power of this moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries, and may you have a blessed moon.